Hello there, and welcome to this week's episode of Heart to Heart After Breast Cancer. I'm your host, Karen Del Maestro, your health and transformation coach, also breast cancer and BRCA2 thriver. Come on in, settle down. Today we've got a really cool conversation about to happen, and we're going to be talking about how the lack of self-care, your lack of self-care, is impacting your relationships, probably on a much deeper level than you may realize. That's why I wanted to have this chat today. So before we jump in, just if you're on live with us, pop in and say hi and let me know who's on. How was your weekend? Right? Happy Monday, everybody. Ours was good. It was quiet. We had some big thunderstorms here in Florida this past weekend, but it was wonderful. We were good. So anyway, so let's dive in and begin to talk about how the lack of self-care is impacting your relationships. And, I think so often as we go through this breast cancer journey, there's a very big trickle down effect, right? From what we are going through and what might be showing up. Hey, Susan, how are you doing today? Thank you for jumping on and joining us. Good to see you as always. Hope you had a good weekend. Ours was good. So, as we think about going through this journey, I want to think about our energy levels, okay? Because I think our energy is one of those things that impacts every single area of our lives. So today I kind of want to break it down. I'm going to talk about how that energy level, something that we all suffer with and struggle with a lot after our breast cancer diagnosis. I want to talk about how that might be showing up in your relationships. First, I would like to do a little drawing for you guys, because I think so often we don't realize why we're running on empty, where our energy is going. And like I said, that trickle down effect of how it affects every other area of our life, right? So I want to start today by just doing a little drawing for you. Okay, so I'm going to pop here, and I invite you, and excuse my drawing. I am no artiste over here. But I think you're gonna get the gist of what I'm drawing. Having trouble with my keypad here. You're still gonna get it, I think. Okay, so I invite you to think of your body as a teapot. And I always say, right, I think of this is the British part in me coming out like this. It's anybody who knows me knows that I love my cup of tea. So I invite you to think of your body as a teapot and your energy level as the tea in that teapot. Right? Now you may wake up in the morning and you don't even have a full pot. Many of us don't as we're going through this journey, either if we're in treatment still or in recovery. We often don't have our full energy back yet. Now, a lot of that is because, yes, there is a baseline of us losing so much of our energy because we're going through a trauma and what our body needs to heal, right? Our body needs energy to heal. Okay. So, starting here, I want you to think about your teapot. Let me know. How full is your teapot right now? Is it full? Are you halfway? Are you running on empty? Is your teapot drained? Is it sucked dry? Where are you today? Without judgment, please, just observation. Let us know where your tea level is at today. Now, what happens throughout our day is naturally that level of tea depletes, right? And it depletes because we are constantly pouring our tea all day into everybody's teacup. Now, every teacup, and you may have 5, you may have 20, you may have 3. It doesn't matter how many people are in your life. It could be kids, it could be significant others, it may be aging parents, it may be friends, it may be work people. Where is your energy going every day? And we're talking about relationships here. So these people matter. Is your energy, are you pouring into those people day after day after day? Probably, right? Susan's is maybe half full. Okay, we'll take it. We've got a half full teapot. Okay, good. Thanks, Susan, for being honest. Okay, how would it feel to have a full teapot? Would you like that? It's possible. I'm going to share with you how today. So stay tuned. Keep listening in. So if we are waking up and our teapot's not even full, and all day long we're doing for others, and we're focusing on everybody else, we're focusing on what they need, we're pouring our tea, our energy into everybody else's teacup. So let's take a look at what might happen then to our relationships, those relationships. What happens is our tea level is getting lower and lower and lower, and we're feeling sucked dry, right? We're feeling sucked dry. And I feel you. I've been there. I know. So, what might happen? I know for me as an introvert, when I'm exhausted, when I need to recharge, I withdraw, I isolate, right? I just don't want to be around other people. I can't cope with it. Might not be able to deal with their energy. I just don't. And you may be familiar with this feeling that you don't have anything more to give. And if you feel that feeling, and let me know in the chat if that's something that you sometimes feel, but if you feel that feeling, your teapot is sucked dry. And I'm going to tell you how you can top up your teapot, so hang out with me. But so we might withdraw and isolate ourselves. We may feel that we can't do the things that we used to do together with our loved ones, right? Especially if we're in pain or we don't have energy, or maybe those things just don't resonate with us the same as they used to. All of these are possible. And again, please come at this from a place of observation, not judging yourself. You've been through a major trauma, life changes, but it doesn't have to be bad. It can be better when we approach it the right way. So often when we can't do the things that we used to be able to do, we tend to beat ourselves up, right? We get really hard on ourselves. And I used to do the same thing. I used to be really hard on myself. We can get angry with ourselves and frustrated, and not just with ourselves, but that also trickles down into our nearest and dearest, right? We notice that. And maybe you're snapping at everyone in sight, like your patience level. Somebody is on high from Arizona. If you would like us to see your name, just allow StreamYard access to your Facebook name. You can see there's a link just above this video if you want us to see your name. If you don't, that's okay. But I love to know who's on watching. So we may find ourselves snapping at everyone in sight. You know, I know for me, right, when that teapot level, when our energy is sucked dry, I'm not very patient. Not your fault, just human behavior. So please, again, don't beat yourself up for this. This is just from a place of observation. Maybe you feel like you're letting everyone down. Yeah, I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot because we don't have the energy yet to show up the way that we used to. Maybe we feel like we're walking on eggshells and we just don't even know what to say anymore. We don't, so often we don't want to be like a Debbie Downer. We don't want to keep saying, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I'm annoyed. We don't want to be saying that. And so again, we go back to withdrawing and isolating ourselves, not being part of relationships, especially with our nearest and dearest, people who are living under the same roof as us. So it might be a spouse, a partner, might be kids, could be aging parents, could be siblings, could be anything, right? Yeah, Susan is saying that she isolates in order to not snap at others. Exactly. I do the same thing, Susan. And we are not alone. I hear this a lot. It's very, very common. And so our lack of energy, our lack of tolerance, our change in our perspective and views in life can cause us to isolate, making this feel even more of a lonely, isolating journey, which breast cancer feels like so often anyway, right? Maybe you feel like you're a stranger observing your own life, like looking down on it, like you're not even in it anymore, just participating, just there, but not really there. Because I think, the feeling that I recognize so often is that there's a life, there's things going on the way that they've always gone on, but it just doesn't, you don't fit the same way that you used to. This is what going through a trauma can feel like. And maybe you're feeling really disconnected, unlovable, untouchable, or alone. These are all really common feelings that I hear all the time. Hey, Rachel. Yes, I can see your name now. Yay. I love it when I get to see. Thanks for joining. Fantastic. Absolutely love it. Thank you for being here. So the question becomes, how do we expect to get our energy and our life back and our relationships back if we keep giving away every ounce of everything we have? Let me say that again. And I really want you to take this in. I want you to think about it. Think about your teapot. Think about your energy level throughout the day and think about where your energy is going. Are you constantly pouring into everybody else's teacup? Because this is how that is affecting your relationships. So let me ask you again. How do you expect to get your energy and your life back if you keep giving away every ounce of everything that you have to everyone else? Now, I want you to imagine when you have more energy, how do you show up in your relationships? Think about it. Are you more open? Are you more present? More loving? More connected? Laughing more? Having fun? Enjoying the life that you fought so hard for? Yeah, that's what happens when we've got more energy. So the question now is, what tops up your teapot? How do we get more energy? Right? Because we want better relationships. It's part, especially I think after COVID. I know for me, like, and I was living in Seattle, my kids were in Florida, I had family in the UK. Like, being apart was so difficult. It's always hard, but especially through COVID. And I think that so many of us now really, really relish. So we're looking at COVID, we're looking at a breast cancer diagnosis. Like, the drivers for so many of us now in being here in our life are our relationships, our family, our loved ones. And so we want to be showing up the best that we can within those relationships, right? Makes sense. So, what do we do to get more energy, right? What do we do to top up this teapot? Let's have a look. Like, what tops up the tea? We need something that tops that up so that we can keep giving to others. That's who you are. It's who I am. To my core, I'm a giver. I care. That's what I do. We're not looking to change that. We're just looking to see how do we have enough energy so that we can keep doing it and not be isolating and feeling dry and resentful and bitter and snapping at everyone in sight. That's not fun. So what tops us up? Self-care. Self-care is what tops up our teapot. Self-care is the conscious act that you take to promote your physical, mental, and emotional health and well-being. Let me repeat that for you, because I think of self-care as a little different than most people. But having been in health and wellness for 20 plus years at this point, having been through multiple major traumas personally, worked with hundreds of women, I can tell you that self-care is the one thing that we all need to be focusing on, because all of the other things fall into place when we are focusing on that. So self-care is the conscious act that you take to promote your physical, mental, and emotional health and well-being. Because what happens when we are working on our self-care, right? When we have more energy, how are we going to show up in every single relationship that we have? More open, more loving, more connected, laughing more, being present, being able to enjoy each day as they come. Sign me up, please. That's what I want from my life. I think it's probably what you want too, and what you want in your relationships. I can help you get there. So, you may have noticed I've been talking a lot about a free 5-day self-care tune-up that's coming up. We're starting July 31st. You can see the link here. It's also above the video. And I want to invite you to join us for this self-care tune-up. Think of it this way, okay? If we can add more self-care into your teapot to give you more energy so that you've got that energy to take care of everyone else, plus feel more connected again, feel more lovable again, not feel like you're walking on eggshells and snapping at everybody in sight. Isn't that something that you want? Yeah. So just sign up. Let me tell you how it works real quick, because I want you to be clear. All of the details, by the way, are on that link. You'll see exactly how it works, exactly what we're going to be covering, so that you'll know how, exactly what's going on, right? We like that. We like a game plan. It's kind of like getting our treatment after our treatment plan after diagnosis. For me, it was like, oh, okay, now I know how it's going to work. So that's what I like to give you guys, is the roadmap, the plan, so that you can see exactly what's going on and you know what to expect. So how does it work? Literally, okay? Because people ask me all the time, Karen, how many hours a day do I need? You don't need hours for this. You do not need hours. You do not need to set aside a specific time if you don't want to, okay? You just need to set aside time for you within your day. So how does it work? You get one email every morning at 6 a.m. Eastern time. And in that email, and this is why you need to register, you can't just hang out in the group. In that email, you're going to get the easy self-care tip of the day. Okay? They are free. They are quick, typically done in 5 or 10 minutes or less, because I'm a fan of that. We're tired already. Why do we want something that's complicated? We don't. We We want something that's quick and easy that we can actually do to start topping up that teapot, right? This is all about topping up your teapot, getting your energy level back so that you've got more energy to pour into every relationship that you have, including the one with yourself. Okay. So that you're going to get one email every morning. Second, you have, and this is where the golden nuggets happen. Okay. So you could just sign up, you could just get the daily email, and you could just do that. Great. That's a step in the right direction. However, I've been told over and over that the real golden nuggets happen on these coaching calls where I get the opportunity to actually coach you, to actually have a communication with you, to help you bust through any issues that you are having with self care. And so the daily coaching with me inside our Facebook group happens at 8 o'clock Eastern every day for the 5 days. You can join live where I get to coach you if you pop on, if you ask questions, if you interact. The more you interact, the more you get out of this. Trust me, right? I think Susan's on, and Susan has been through one of my self-care tune-ups before and found it really helpful. But the great stuff happens on these calls. So you can join them live, or you can just pop into the group and catch the replay throughout the day. So you don't need to set aside any specific amount of time. These coaching calls typically run between 20 minutes and 30 minutes a day, depending on who's on, depending on how in depth we go. So really, the first thing that you need to do is sign up. Say yes to you. Say yes to improving your relationships. Say yes. Think about it. These are relationships for so many of us are the reason that we said, I'm going to fight. I want to be here for my kids. I want to be here for my husband. I want to be here for my grandkids. I'm expecting my first one in September. So excited. Were they all part of my why I fought this disease, why I fought so hard? Yes, they were. And I'm pretty sure, because I've spoken to hundreds of women who've been through this disease. Most of you, your family was why you wanted to be here. And so we want to make sure that we're making these relationships everything that they can be, reaching their fullest potential for whatever that looks like for you, right? Because remember, self-care is the conscious act that you take, not think about. I don't want you there saying, oh, I should be doing more self-care. I know I should, yeah, but I don't, and then beating yourself up because you don't. I don't want that for you. That is your teapot, and that's your level of tea in your teapot draining because you're stressing, because you're stewing, because you're being hard on yourself. It's sucking you dry. I don't want that for you. So when we prioritize self-care, right? When we top up our teapot with self-care, we've got more energy to give to everybody else, to give to our loved ones, to give to those relationships that are so important for us that we fought for. That's what I want for you. Do you want that? Did you fight for your relationships? I think so. I think so. So if you're on live, you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. I'm going to leave this up here for now so that you can see any questions about the tune-up, any questions about how your energy or any aha moments that you've had today that you'd like to share. Feel free to pop it in the comments. I would love to know. But I want you to really think about how your energy level is affecting every single one of your relationships. It does for me too. It does for me too. But when I've got energy, I'm showing up in a different way in my life. Susan's saying it's a little more difficult when you're alone, single. Yeah, I don't disagree, Susan, but when we're looking at our energy level, we're talking about how we're showing up in our friendships, with your family, at work, every single relationship. It's not just a significant other relationship, it's every relationship, right? Could be parents, could be siblings, could be friends, could be neighbors, could be work people, right? Susan, just like you were saying before, that you tend to isolate so that you don't snap at people. Who are you snapping at that you prefer to not be snapping at? Right? It's not just about we've all got so many relationships in our life that we don't even realize. When we hear the word relationship, we tend to associate it with a significant other, a partner. It isn't. And it's even, and I'll tell you this, it's our relationship with ourselves too. How is your relationship with yourself? And Susan's sharing. She's retired and family's out of state. I get that, Susan, right? I moved over to the US when I was 22 years old, away from my family, leaving my family in the UK. I came with my first husband. I get it. I was, he traveled for work. I was on my own a lot. But this all relates to our relationship with ourselves. Are we being kind to ourselves? Are we hard on ourselves? Do we beat ourselves up all the time? Right? Self-care affects all of that because self-care leads to self-love, which leads to self-compassion, which leads to self-acceptance, which leads to self-confidence. There's a roadmap that I teach in my coaching program that takes you from self-care to self-confidence. But it starts here. It starts here. Rachel's sharing that her husband says that even though she has stage 4 cancer, you still do more than he does. It does get exhausting, right? Why do we do that to ourselves, Rachel? Is it that we're trying to prove something, right? And it's frustrating. Yeah. Yeah. It's exhausting. It's frustrating. It's hard. And it doesn't need to be. And that's why, and I hope that you sign up for the self-care tune-up because so often we try to just keep doing what we've always done, right? Get back to life, get back to everything that we've known. And the problem is that we're not the same. We're not the same. Rachel's already signed up. Fantastic. Can't wait, Rachel. Good. So happy. We are not the same as we were before our cancer diagnosis. It's almost impossible for us to be the same. We have been through, or still in the case of Rachel, right, a life altering trauma. That changes us. So why do we try to use all of our energy to go back? If we go back to doing the same things that we've always done, we're not going to get a different outcome, right? It's the definition of insanity, right? Repeating the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. So we need to change. Doesn't mean it's bad. Doesn't mean that we're changing our personality. We're changing the way that we show up in our life and how we show up in our relationships. It's not a bad thing. Yay, Susan signed up too. Fantastic. Can't wait to take you guys through this. And so here's the thing, guys, as we finish up today, and let me bring up this diagram again for you. Your body is a teapot. The level of energy that you have every day is going to vary. It's the amount of tea in your pot, and you may wake up, right, with very little. You may wake up tired. Hello, part of the journey. No judgment, please, no judgment, just observation. And yet, if like Rachel, right, you're still taking care of everybody else, you're still doing everything that you used to do, or as much as you can, you're pouring that tea into everybody else's teacups. The only way that we get to top up that level of tea is with self-care, taking care of ourselves. And don't forget, self-care is the conscious act that you take to promote your physical, mental, and emotional health and well-being. That's why it's so crucial, and it affects every relationship that we have, including the most important one, which is your relationship with yourself. You deserve to love yourself. You deserve to feel confident in your skin, no matter what, no matter how you look. I've got over 25 scars on my torso. I don't have breasts. I have footprints where my breasts once lay, which means I'm concave. Got a weird like lump where my sternum sticks out far. And yet I love myself because of this work, because I have been practicing self-care. It all started here with a little tune-up, and that's what I want to offer you. So as we finish up today, guys, don't forget, sign up for the 5-day self-care tune-up. We're starting July 31st. Quick reminder, you're going to get one email, 6 a.m. in the morning Eastern time, with a free, quick, easy self-care tip of the day. You only get that email and that tip if you are registered. Okay, you want to be really clear. The second thing is some daily coaching with me, just like this, inside our Facebook group at 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern every morning for the 5 days. You can join it live, get some coaching, get some questions answered, interact like as much as we can, and have like a real, semi-real conversation, right? Or you can catch the replay later in the day. In other words, you do this on your time frame. I love it when you guys show up live, right? Because we get to chat. We get to chat. You are so welcome, Susan, as always. I will see you, and Rachel, I will see you both on Sunday. Hopefully you can join live. If not, catch the replay, but say hi in the group. Thank you so much for signing up. I look forward to it. And that's it for today, guys. So as I said, self-care is the conscious act that you take to promote your physical, mental, and emotional health and well-being. It affects our energy level, affects every single relationship that we have. And you know already, if you are sucked dry, you're snapping at people, you're isolating people, you're removing yourself and feeling less than, like you're not good enough, or you're failing in some way. I don't want you to feel like that. I want you to be able to show up and enjoy the life that you fought for. So it starts here. Rachel saying thank you. Have a great day. Thank you, Rachel. You too. Okay, that's it for today, guys. I will see you soon, Sunday, if not before. Thank you so much for watching. Drop any questions in the chat and sign up for the self-care tune-up. It's going to be fun as always, right? Going to be fun, going to be interactive, and it is my favorite thing to talk about. So bye for now, guys. I will see you there. I'm Karen Del Maestro, your health and transformation coach. You can find us over in the Healthy Living After Breast Cancer Facebook community, and I will see you soon. Have a great day.